everyone, and welcome to another episode of Monkey Around Reviews. Today we have the Mercury Innovations 3-way kit Wi-Fi light switch with voice assistant control. That means it can be used with either Alexa or Google Home. Now this can also be found under another name. You can find this under the Geenie Tap. When you're looking on Amazon, it'll be under Geenie Tap, and when you're looking under Walmart, you're going to find it under Mercury Innovations. That could all change in the future, but those are both the same product and the same manufacturer. Now, this system is for a 3-way light switch. That means that if you have a light here and you have a switch here, you may also have another switch here. And this switch can both control that light at the same time. Now this comes with 2 different switches because if you are putting in a 3-way light switch, you need to have both switches. But from the research I've done, you only need to use one. So this box is actually good for 2 different 3-way light switch scenarios. So if you have 2 different rooms that you can put in a 3-way light switch, this will work for you. But you still need a standard 3-way light switch for the other switch. You still need the 2 switches for it to work, but you only need one of these to work with Alexa or Google Home. Now the reason for that is these do not work in tandem. When you install the app, you're going to sync each one of these separately. So when you look, they can either both be on or both be off, or one on and one off. They do not talk to one another. So if you tell your voice assistant to turn on hallway light, and this one switch here is called hallway light, this one may be called hallway light 2. So they are not going to be named the same. So when you talk to your voice assistant, it's only talking to one. So this one can go in one area with a standard switch on the other end, and this one can go into a different area with a standard switch on the other end. So 2 for 1 in this box. They're not going to tell you that, but yes, you can do it that way. Other than that, the only other thing you need to know is you need to have a neutral line by that light switch. If your light switches do not have a neutral line running behind them, this will not work. So go ahead and take off a plate and look for that white line. If it's not there, take off the other plate. It may be behind there. A lot of times, since light switches don't need neutrals, they're not going to be there, but it may be behind the other one as they're using that power line to go somewhere else. So double check both switches, make sure you have a neutral line. If one of them is there, you're good to go. So let's go ahead and open up this box and see what's inside. So as I was just saying, there are 2 switches in here. So we can pop this one out and we can pop this one out. And the only other thing we got in here is we have a instruction manual, the voice control guide, a bunch of screws and barrels in here, and then another bag of screws and barrels because you need one for both sides. So if you take a look at this, it comes with its own panel, which is nice, but you don't always want to use the existing panel, especially if you're going behind a box that has 2 different openings or 3 different openings. But this can come off. If you take a look at the back, it's just got hooks, 4 of them, 2 here and 2 here, and it takes a little bit of work, but you will be able to pop them off. You're going to have to probably do 2 at the same time, and just like that. So you don't need this, and this is a standard Deca size plate here. That being said, this may be a little too deep for a standard gang box, so double check before you go crazy. I've had a few that don't fit. I have measured this out, and this one's going to fit into mine. So I have a ruler. We're going to show you how deep this is. From the beginning of where it will be touching the wall back is 1 1/4 inches. So 1 1/4 inches there, but you do need a little bit more because there's a lot of extra wires here than you would normally have. Plus you got to wire nut all this in there. So just make sure you have that depth. I'll go ahead and tell you it is, it looks like 2 3/4 by the 1 1/4 by 1 1/2 across. So there's your measurements. As you see, there are 5 different power cables back here. It's the same on both because these are 2 separate but exactly the same switches. On here you have your ground for your green, The white one here is that neutral that's required. This one, this brown one, this is your switch 1. That's one of your traveling wires. This black one is your live, and this blue one is your switch 2. That's your other traveler. So here is your ground. That's just going to screw right into the grounding screw or into the grounding wires if you have some in that switch already. The neutral that you need to go into. This black live is your actual power. And this blue and the brown, those are your travelers that are going to be going from switch to switch. It all makes sense once you open up your existing wiring. They should just all match up there. Other than that, the only other thing to notice on here is this actually has a reset and a restart button right here on the bottom. Now, this is the first light switch I've ever had with this on there, but I am so happy that they've added this. I've had other Wi-Fi controlled light switches that lose sync and are no longer connected to my Wi-Fi network, and the only way I can actually get it to resync is to kill the breaker. So since you have a reset and a restart button right here, that keeps you from having to go to the breaker and kill the power to the house or to that section of the house for it to reread the Wi-Fi. So that is a nice little feature right there. So once again, this has been Monkey Around Reviews with the Mercury Innovations 3-way kit Wi-Fi light switch with voice assistant control, also going by the name of Geenie Tap. If you've used a 3-way light switch like this before, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And as always, make sure you like and subscribe.
Yeah.